The thrust washers for this spider gear assembly finally came in. Unfortunately, they're just steel instead of the bronze like the originals were made of. And I threw them out on the floor. But that means I can turn this pile of parts into a component for Speedy. Starting with this spider assembly. One of these copper thrust washers. Then, there it is. The longer one with the two pinion, actually I don't know what these gears are called. And the spiders drop in. And the shorter of the two gears goes on. Another of these copper thrust washers. Now for this cap. Now let's flip over. I'll put these in with the Eaton lettering facing down. Remove that wear surface. And this goes with the chamfered side down. In this case, it's needing some encouragement. There's no torque spec listed for these bolts in the book, but they did take an impact to get off, so I'm guessing pretty darn tight. Now, since this is finished, you have to relock wire it. This may get interrupted by weather, because there's rain and this is an uninsulated tin roof, so it gets loud in here. I got some more parts for Speedy to reassemble, or at least more parts for the transmission. Seal survived intact. Now, speedometer drive gear just threads in like so. And now I'm definitely going to knock off recording because tin roof things. The hail or rain or whatever it is stopped at least for a few minutes, so continuing with this. Shaft goes in, and the detent ball and spring. When the spring actually fits, that is. Be sure to throw the components on the floor. Got them nice and messed up. Exactly the way they need to be. Now, this bushing has to get driven in over the tip of that spring. Now that bushing is in. Now for the new oil seal on this control shaft. Of course they're hiding. The new one, stamped on the, this part number is stamped on the inside of the bushing, or of the seal. Whereas on the old one, it's stamped on the outside, so you don't have to rip it out to read the part number. Brilliant design choice. Gently tap this down into place. I just hope that I didn't destroy that seal getting it in there. The next half of the equation is this other bushing. That bushing punched in. Spins nice and smooth where it needs to. The oil seal you would think would go in next, but it's not. We start feeding this shaft in like so. Then the larger of the two washers goes on like that. And snap ring. And the gear, the pointed section forwards. So that's starting. Then you remember where you set it down. The smaller of the two washers, there, that governs the end play of the shaft. It'll probably be easier to just snap this back. That's how the PTO goes back together. There's one or two final steps actually. Putting the seal on the floors. Good. Driver stacked up like that. There's much damage in the new one. Now, this little pin, apparently it's not this little pin. Don't know where he goes. This little pin probably. That's the one. There you go. Here's the pin for that. The lever will go down in there, move it back and forth. PTO assembled. Now for this plate. Okay, so the first step to this is not leaving the two interlock detents in there when you paint it and spending 2 hours searching for them. That's a really good first step to do. Taking the spring.
Hush.
First one in. Next step is to lose the little interlock balls once again. Now for the center. Central rail. This one is the fun one on mine, because I had to replace that spring and I replaced it with a slightly taller one. It will function the same, just maybe it needs to be further back than that. Okay, it's in neutral. Last one, it starts to go smooth. Yeah, it certainly couldn't go smoothly on the first one. Now on this reverse plunger, preload on it should be just flush. Then half a turn more is what I've been told by a couple different sources. Now for the last spring and detent. And that's the shifter top. Of course, the reverse fork will go on like so. And there's all the stuff to do up top, but I still need to paint some components for those. That's about as far as I can go today with what I've got painted and prepped. That's 2 different sub-assemblies, or technically 3 different sub-assemblies for the transmission, and 1 for the rear end. All done up and ready to go. Thanks for watching.